one of the important leadership theories we talk about situational leadership. This theory developed by Paul Hersey and Ken Blanchard. They emphasized the effective leadership requires adapting to one's style to the specific situation and the development level of on which stage the individual is progressing. According to that, you operate your leadership styles. Okay, so based on the specific situation and the development level of the individual, we need to look at, observe, and then being led. Okay, so as individuals evolve and acquire different skills over the period, a leader's approach should adjust accordingly. So this theory recognizes that there is no one size fit for all. There is no one size fit for all leadership style, and leaders we need to be more flexible in their approach. So based on the needs and the readiness of the team members. Let us get into a deep dive into the situational leadership style. Here we are talking about a situational leadership model suggests there are, as we said, there is no one size fits for all. So here we have 4 quadrants. We are delegating, directing, coaching, and also supporting. Okay, so depending on the situation, varying levels of leadership and managements are necessary. So, however, leaders must first identify their most important tasks, and they need to prioritize. That's the first point. Secondly, leaders must consider the readiness levels of their followers by analyzing the group's ability and the willingness of the people. Both are very, very important. Most of the time we miss out either one of this. We need to look at the readiness level of the employees and also their ability. This both has to be checked. Okay, depending on the level of these variables, we need to apply the most appropriate leadership style to fit the given whatever the situation. So here we are looking at on the slide, there are 4 different types of leadership, situational leadership we can operate. First, let us take this directing. This directing leadership approach is most appropriate. See, the directing leadership style we are talking about, when the followers cannot do the job, they are unwilling and they are afraid to try. So in this situation, people are low willingness to do the job. Okay, then the leader must take the highly directive role. Directing requires those in charge to define the roles and the task, whatever is to be delegated, you need to just push it. Okay, so we need to supervise them closely. Decisions are made by those in charge, and communications is always happen in one way, just been delivered. Okay, decisions are made by those in charge, and the communication has been just delivered in a one way. Okay, so if the leader focused more on the relationship in this situation, the followers would become confused about what must be done and what is optional. So directing is often used when the issue is very serious or comes with drastic consequences. If they don't do it, they will face a consequence if they are not successful. So the leader maintains a directive positions to ensure all the required actions are getting completed. That's the way you operate, directing role. Then coaching. The coaching role, as you see, the leader's approach is appropriate when the followers have high willingness but low ability. whatever they are carrying out, doing the task, they don't have the ability to carry out the task to the optimal level, whatever the task they have. Like directing, coaching still requires leaders to define the roles and the task clearly, but the leader seeks ideas and suggestions from the follower. He always uh, get the input from the followers. Decisions remain the leader's prerogative. He will keep that, he will make the final decision. However, the communication is more of two-way communication. Followers needing coaching requires uh, direction and supervision because they are still relatively inexperienced, but they also need support and pat on the back, praise to build their self-esteem and involvement in decision making to restore their commitment. While coaching, the leader spends time in carefully listening what they are saying, observing and advising and helping the followers gain necessary skills in order to do the task autonomously next time. He is helping the followers to become independent on their own. Initially it is more of interdependent, then eventually he is making the people to be on their own. Okay, so let's move on to the next quadrant, supporting. This leadership approach is most appropriate when the followers have low willingness, but they have the ability for the task at hand. For example, your kids may be very smart, but they are not doing the homework, right? But for them, no need to arrange for tuitions, anything. But kind of you need to be more supportive, caring, loving, this kind of parenting may help. Likewise, supporting leadership works when the followers can do the job, but is refusing to do it, showing a lack of commitment. So this leader need not worry about showing them what to do. Okay, but instead you should be concerned with finding out why the followers are refusing. You need to persuade them, to cooperate. So the key to supportive leadership is motivating and building a confidence in the people. It's very, very important. Clarification on the details of the process, what if they have work related, that doesn't matter because they know the subject. As a follower, they already knows what they're supposed to do, and but they lack motivation. They are not willing to act. That's a problem. So supportive leadership involves listening, giving praise, and making the followers feel good when they show the necessary commitment for success. Always give them the encouragement, pat on the back, give them recognition, issue the value card, all that will work. Then we move on to the next quadrant, delegating. So this leadership approach is most appropriate when the followers have high willingness and high ability. Both are, alhamdulillah, no? They have willingness to do and they have ability. So leaders should rely on delegating when the followers can do the job and they are motivated to do the job. So there is high amount of trust that the followers will do well, and the followers require little bit of supervision or support. Delegating still keeps the leader involved in the decision and problem solving, but the execution is mostly in the hands of the followers. You give them the task and the privacy, freedom, autonomy, all that. They will deliver it. No need to micromanage anything. So because the follower has the most control, he is responsible for communicating the information backup. If there are any glitch or any issues, they will just escalate to you. So followers at this level have less need for support or frequent praise. Although we are all human, right? So occasionally we may need some recognition, is always been encouraged. Okay, so in line with this situational leadership, all these leaders do not get the things done in the same manner. Okay, their style varies. The leadership style varies with the kind of people the leader interacts and the deals with them. So I can give you some kind of analogy. For example, every quarter, and you see, for example, directing goes with autocratic, coaching with the consultative approach, and supporting goes with democratic, delegating with laissez-faire, free, loose ends. Okay, let's look at the autocratic style. These autocratic leaders makes the decisions without consulting their team members. They dictate what should be done. They move ahead. So even if the people input is would be useful, they will not take it. This can be appropriate when you need to make decisions quickly, when there is no need for team input, and when the team agreement is not necessary for a successful outcome. However, this style can be at times, we have witnessed in our workplaces, this kind of style, it's demoralizing. And it can lead to high level of absenteeism and staff turnover, burnout. So nobody likes authoritative leadership style. Then we look at the democratic leadership style. Democratic leaders, they make the final decisions, but they include the team members in a decision-making process. They encourage the creativity, and people are often highly engaged in the projects and the decisions. As a result, team members tend to have high job satisfaction and high productivity. This is not always an effective style to use, though when you need to make a quick decision, this is not the right approach, right? Democratic leadership style. For example, I can give you one example. Nelson Mandela, you all know, is a good leader. And some interviewer asked, sir, how did you pick up this kind of good charismatic leadership style? Where did you pick up? Nelson Mandela reflected for a while, and then he said, when I was a kid, I used to accompany my dad in a veranda, in the community hall. All the tribal leaders come and assemble, and my dad used to sit quiet. He allows every tribal leaders to talk. It goes around, and then finally, after listening everything, then he gives his verdict. His opinion. Though this is I really learned from my dad. That's what I am all through my year I am practicing. So that's a typical example I can quote for a democratic leader. Then we look at the laissez-faire. Here, these leaders give their team members a lot of freedom in how they do their work. For example, especially the startup companies like Google, Microsoft, and quite advanced, artificial intelligence, machine learning, this new startup companies, they are encouraging the employees to be more free, freedom in their workplace, and they can bring their pets, and then they can sit wherever they want. But at the end, things get done. So only the matters is the deadline. Okay, they provide a support with the resources and advice if needed, but otherwise they don't get involved. This autonomy can lead to high job satisfaction, but it can also be damaging if the team members don't manage their time well. They're always bound to happen. Yeah. So, but it can be, it can be also, no, we can also put kind of checklist, and we can closely monitor our kind of tracking system. We can, or if they don't have knowledge or skills or self-motivation to do the job, that will also affect. Okay. So this kind of leadership doesn't require, don't have control over their work and their people. Free. Okay, they are left free. Then we have consultative approach. This style focuses on using the skills, experiences, ideas of others, and building others' ideas and bringing a synergy. However, the leader or manager using this style still retain the final decisions, the manager makes the final decision. However, he involves everyone. To his or her credit, they will not make major decisions without first getting the input from those who are involved or being affected. So they involve all the stakeholders. Then we look at the bureaucratic. Here, the leaders strictly adhere to the organizational rules and policies. You may be knowing some of the managers, they always hide behind the policies. So whatever been asked, no, just wait. Let me go through the policy and procedures, and then they just quote, and they go by the book. So they make sure that the employees team also strictly follow the rules and procedures. Promotions take place on the basis of employees' ability to adhere to the organizational rules. If you go by the book, then you get promoted, you get recognition. So this leadership style gradually develops over time. This leadership style is more suitable when a safe working conditions and quality are required. More of a kind of governance, compliance oriented job. This leadership style sometimes discourages the creativity and does not make employees self-centered. That's also another drawback. So I would like to know, instead of giving you theories and all that, I would like to give you a real scenario, the real examples, how we can relate with the, that's what I did today, some extensive research. For example, directing. I can give you a situation. New employees are joining in your company as friends. Okay. So Marcus graduate development program. In this, new employees, they don't have prior experience. So here, you're as a BB, as a leader, her approach will be provide a clear instructions what should be done. So you have to define the roles, closely supervises where they go, what they do. You have to just give them the layout. All that we have to clear instructions required. So and make decisions to ensure tasks are completed effectively. This should be your leadership style, directing for the fresh graduate development program. Then coaching. Here the situation, employees show high willingness to learn but lack the necessary skills. Okay, so your approach should be the leader defines the roles and seeks the input and encourages the two-way communication. Support and praise are provided to build the confidence level, and you have to coach. Coaching involves actively helping the employee to gain the required skills. We already seen the previous slides. We got the idea of similarities between the coaching and mentoring, the distinction between and the similarities. Okay, so the coaching is more of probing the coachee to come out with their own freedom, and then you thrive. You help the coachee to thrive, build on their strengths. Okay, so you don't give advice, but you enable them to figure out for themselves. That's the beauty of coaching. Okay, then supporting. Okay, in the supporting is a situation, what I go scenario, employees possess the skills, smart guys, but exhibit low willingness or commitment. What should be your approach? The leaders focuses on motivation and building a confidence. Okay, so supportive leadership involves understanding the reasons for resistance, why they are resisting. You need to get into the root cause, why, and persuade the employees to cooperate and providing praise to enhance the commitment. Here is a challenge. You need to figure out why the resistance is coming and figure out, and then at times you can cooperate with them, provide a praise to enhance the commitment. Then delegating. The example, employee demonstrate both the high willingness and the high ability, right? This is what we saw. No? So in this scenario, the leader's approach will be, the leaders relies on delegating, trusting the employees to perform the task independently. Supervision is very minimal, and employees take responsibility for communication with occasional recognitions are encouraged. And then you can eventually elevate to empowering the employees, to empower them. Okay. Empowerment is a bit high, elevating above the delegation level, where you are giving, kind of more freedom and helping them to own their own processes right now, like that. Okay. So in autocratic, in order to sum up, decisions are made by the leader without consulting with the team. Okay. The appropriate situation will be quick decisions without requiring team input. You have to make sura, just to make a decision. Then we go for the autocratic. Okay. Democratic, when it final decisions involve team members involved in the decision making process. The situation will be encouraging creativity and engagement when time allows for team input. Whenever you have sophisticated time, you can make use of the time, enabling creativity and also engagement with all the employees. Laissez faire, the loose ends. The team members have freedom in their work approach. The appropriate situation will be suitable with the team members are self-motivated, what you call, their motivation is intrinsic, inward directed, inside out approach. Okay. So they are not, relying on outside in, but the inside out, people who are motivated and skilled, allowing autonomy in decision making will be appropriate, in this situation. Then consultative approach. When you operate consultative, skills, experience, and we know KSA, knowledge, skills, competency, other attributes, experiences, and ideas of others are considered. All this we need to consider. But the leader retains the decision-making power. The appropriate decision, the situation when you can operate this consultative approach, gaining input from the relevant stakeholders before making a major decisions, you can use this consultative approach. Okay, we talked about bureaucratic. Okay, strict adherence to the rules, policy, and procedures. Appropriate situation will be where safety and quality are paramount. We cannot compromise on the safety in the KNPC, KOC, K companies. They all have a very regimented, strict safety policies, and each leadership style is adapted based on a specific situation, emphasizing the importance of flexibility in leadership approaches. Every leadership style is been adapted based on the specific situation. The situation is driving the leadership style, emphasizing the importance of flexibility in leadership approaches to effectively meet the needs of the team and the organization. Any comments about this? We can move on to the next one. Good to go?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we close 5 minutes early?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so next question, with that question, we can close it now.
Okay.
Or we can close it now itself. What do you think?
No, we can answer
Okay,
this.
okay,
So we'll
okay,
do this.
okay,
We'll do this.
okay. So the most challenge of executive development program is
Projecting the company growth.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Measuring the development results.
correct. You nailed it. Measuring the development results. So
We answered this before also.
Yeah,
I
this is
think,
before we
right?
answered
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we
Yes,
answered.
we
Yeah,
answered
we
and both
answered.
of you answered wrong.
Yeah, correct. So many leadership development efforts fail because companies choose to use wrong metrics to measure the success. HR should switch the focus from measuring activity. Most of the time we are being activity oriented. So to measuring the business results, instead of being a result oriented, being activity centric, process centric. So HR can design the metrics around these measures of success, once again aligning the leadership development with the organization's strategic goals. So you may ask, no, why this option, measuring the development results? The most challenging aspect of the executive development program or management MDP, management development program, measuring the
No,
development of
مركز. Yeah, Francis, مركز.
Marcus.
I don't know why you insist on management.
No, actually, that is a different Marcus graduate development program for entry level. Now we are talking about for a senior executive C-suite level. So we may nominate them for a mini MBA program or management development program. They call like this, MDP, management development. This is a different context. For the people to have a fast track. Executive development program, right? So in order to measure the development result, we need to go for the D, measuring the development result. So this is because many leadership development initiatives.
Or group settings.
What you're saying, Saju?
No.
Okay, so this is because the leadership development initiatives, they face difficulties in determining, quantifying the actual impact and effectiveness of the program. So we cannot correlate what is the impact and the effectiveness of the program. That is a problem. They're not able to connect the nodes. Okay, so the explanation provides, we can highlights that the leadership development efforts often fail when the companies use incorrect metrics to measure the success. Instead of focusing solely on activities or inputs such as the number of training hours, how many hours you are putting, lot of hours we are spending on this training, that doesn't work. Or participation rate, above 80% people are participating, that also doesn't guarantee. So HR should shift that focus towards measuring the tangible business results, not that the input, how many hours we spend, how many participation rate, that doesn't count. Okay, so by aligning the leadership development metrics with the organization strategic goals, you have to link it with the goals of your organization. So companies can better evaluate the real impact of the program on the company's overall performance and the success. Remember how much they spent, 50,000 KD for training around 10 senior level executives, they spend. So it's not a small amount, right? It's a big money. So that has to be justified, for the stakeholders, why we are spending so much of money for this program. So that has to be linked with your goals. Okay. So in order to conclude this slide, measuring the development results in terms of business outcome is crucial. Lazim. You need to connect the dots of how you are investing and how the results, business outcomes are, are you able to connect these two? Is very crucial for ensuring the executive development program is not only implemented but also delivers very meaningful for the organization wherever we work. Okay, with that we'll wind up now.